Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed, Shlita. Welcome everybody back. Thanks for joining us here in our learning. And we continue the laws of Birchat Kohanim, but first we remind everyone to daven for Charlei Tzvagana Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol Petzuei Yisrael, and a safe return of all of our hostages. We dedicate our learning Le'ili Nishmas, Seren Daniel Shimon ben Harav Doron V'Sheli Hashem Yakum Damo. And today, a very special dedication and a mazel tov to our very own Avi Ben Dori, who by now has already arrived in Israel. Oleh Chadash, mazel tov to Yafit, Rabbi David Ben Dori, their son. Such nachas that we have, bittersweet as it is for us here in diaspora, and a little bit of envy perhaps as well, but extremely proud of Avi for making the bold step of making Aliyah. Should be with complete hatzlacha and bracha. So the next chapter is Shutfus Yisrael beBirchas Kohanim. K'shemagiz man Birchas Kohanim, when the time comes for Duchening, ein haKohanim rishom lahaschil beBirchasam ad shehachazan o gabay yachriz Kohanim. So they have to be prompted. So they can't begin the blessing until the chazan or someone in the crowd, usually a gabbai, will actually announce Kohanim. They say Kohanim, or in Israel it's more a matter of fact Kohanim. Mishum shenemar l'Moshe b'Torah amor lahem, because the pasuk in Nasa says you have to say to them, meaning it's a directive. Kolomar, Moshe she'eno Kohen, Moshe who's not a Kohen, tzarich lomar l'Kohanim l'varach es Yisrael. He has to tell the Kohanim, instruct them, guide them to bless the children of Israel. It's also parenthetically a great trivia question. There were two brothers from the same parents. One was a Kohen, one was a Levi. Who are they? The answer, of course, is Moshe and Aharon. Umikan lamdu chachamim, back in the Sefer. So Chazal teaches from here, Tchila yesh likra Kohanim. First, we have to call out Kohanim. V'rak l'achar mikan yaschil haKohanim berchasam. And until then, only after they hear that prompt can they begin their blessing. V'imrak Kohen echad ola l'duchen. And if there's only one Kohen that is Duchening, because you can't say Kohanim in the plural, so what should you do? Ein machriz in Kohanim, we don't announce Kohanim, mishum shenemar b'Torah amor lahem. Because the pasuk says you have to say to them in the plural. Mashma sharak kasher yeshnu lefachos shnei Kohanim machriz in Kohanim. So the Shulchan Aruch paskins that this implies, or the sense of the pasuk is that you only announce to the Kohanim that they prompt them if they are in plural, meaning two or more. And some say, based on the Rishonim, also mentioned in the Aruch HaShulchan, that the main Birchas Kohanim, the main mitzvah, has to be with at least two. Doesn't mean we don't do it with less than two. We don't paskin this way, but certainly ideally because we could say Kohanim. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do because you just simply don't have more Kohanim. Gamas Birchas HaKohanim atzma, ein HaKohanim omrim atzmam. So as we know, as the procedure goes, the Kohanim don't give the blessing and the procedure of the blessing on their own by themselves either. Ela hachazan makri lahem mila mila. The chazan calls out word for word, yivarechecha, and they repeat, etc., etc., etc. V'akohanim chozrim acharav. He says the word, the chazan does, and the Kohanim repeat. V'yesh toim umakrim kol lachash v'eino nochan. There are some that make a mistake, and they call out very quietly that the Kohanim can't hear it. He says that's a mistake. It has to make sure that the call, the Yivarechecha, V'yishmerecha, etc., has to be clear that the Kohanim hear it. But it shouldn't be as loud as the Kohanim, because we don't want people to think that the Chazan is Duchening. And after each, the first set of 3 words, 5 words, 7 words, they should answer Amen. Kfar Lamana, we learned earlier in the beginning of this chapter, Shebitarusa dilatata talyat rusa dilaela. Talked about the connection of the lower world and the upper world. Kolomar, kasher bara kadosh baruch hu olam. When Hashem created the world, kava shabachira chofshis tiyeh yisod merkasi. So one of the central, fundamental principles that we live by is free choice. So only after we convince ourselves or we awake to do something that is obligated, a certain thing, so then that arouses also the ratzon in Shemayim. So if we take it upon ourselves, we say, okay, we want to give tzedakah. So then that wakes up in Shemayim, in the upper world, that Hashem's going to allow us or make it easier for us to do the mitzvah. That's why one of the non-Kohanim, one of the Yisraelim, who is part of the group that's being blessed, they have to first announce Kohanim out loud. And we're expressing explicitly that we want to receive the blessing of Hashem. Again, it's not the Kohanim who are blessing us. Hashem is blessing us through the Kohanim. And only once we say, we express, we want this blessing from Hashem, then the Kohanim can begin their blessing. And even afterwards, the Chazan has to prompt them with each and every word from the phrases. And this also expresses our ratzon with each aspect, every single specific aspect of the bracha. Yivarechacha means one thing, Yishmerecha means one thing, Ya'er means one thing, etc., etc. And then the Kohanim repeat those words. And Hashem then will pour forth His blessing upon us. So if you think about everybody being involved in this mitzvah, it's not just the Kohanim and we're doing nothing. We have to prompt them, we have to listen, we have to express that we want the blessing. The Kohanim then repeat word for word, and Hashem gives us the blessing, and everybody goes home happy. Let's certainly hope. So thank you again for listening to us today. Please join us again here tomorrow. Please continue davening Chalei Tzvah in Israel, for Shalom and Chol P'tzuvei Yisrael. Safe return of our hostages. Do a mitzvah like Nishmat, Seren Daniel Shem and Rav Doron Michelle Hashem Damo. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you here next time.